Okay, good morning, everyone. It's 11:33 and we're going to begin on time. Welcome to Scorebucks County's first webinar of the year, Plan Your Website for Online Success. My name is Linda Zangrilli and I'm the current chapter chair for Scorebucks County. So before we begin, I'd just like to mention a few housekeeping items. First of all, this is being recorded. So everyone who is in attendance will get the recording as well as the slides. Please hold your questions. You can actually put them in the Q&A as you get your questions. We will address them all at the end of the event. And don't use the chat unless you want to chat. Just use it for Q&A. So before we start, I'd just like to say a little bit about the organization behind this, Scorebucks County. We are a national nonprofit organization. We have some 350 chapters, 13,000 people all over the country dedicated to one simple mission, and that is to foster small business. So the way we do that is through webinars such as this, free webinars, as well as free mentoring services. So if you are a small business and you're just starting, or you're a small business that has been in business for a while and kind of needs a little extra push, we're here to help you. We have people in the Bucks County chapter. We cover all of Bucks County as well as Eastern Montgomery County. And we have 55 mentors in the chapter who come from all walks of life, who have various backgrounds, financial, marketing, digital marketing, you name it. We have the people who can help. So all you need to do if you're looking for some help, and again, it's free, is to go onto our website. And I believe that our tech support gentleman put this in the chat. It's buckscounty.score.org. And when you go on that website, you will find a button that says, I need a mentor. You push the button, fill out the form, and the wheels then get set in motion, and we will be contacting you to set you up with a mentor. In the same note, if you're a person who's out there who has expertise and is willing to give back to the community, willing to share your knowledge and expertise with the small business community, we would love to have you as a member. You can go to that same website, buckscounty.score.org, and say, I would like to volunteer. And again, we will take it from there. Okay, so that is my small pitch for the day. And before I go on, I could go on forever talking about SCORE. It's a great organization, but I'm going to now turn it over to Ed Torello, who is the seminar chair for Scorebucks County, who will introduce our speaker for today. Ed?
Thank you very much, Linda, and thank you all for joining us. As Linda mentioned, this is the first in our presentation here for 2022. Between now and September 30th of 2022, we've got 32 of these webinars planned, and we will be putting them up on the screen, as you know, several months in advance, so you can click your devices into it. Just for a quick thing, on the 18th, we have video production for digital marketing efforts, and on the 25th, we have how to navigate the SBA to obtain financing. And now we have one of our premier speakers, Jessica Baldwin, who was with us in the past and has some excellent webinars for us. And she is the co-founder of CardSetter, a new and easy to use website platform with custom design and setup also included. And Jessica has been helping small businesses launch successful websites for over 7 years. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jessica so that she can begin. Jessica?
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Jessica. Welcome to Plan Your Website for Online Success. Here's what we will be covering today. We're going to discuss why planning your website is so important. We'll cover what we call a minimum viable launch point. We're going to provide you with a framework to plan your website's foundation. So to think through your website's goal, your feature needs, who your audience is, and your website's content. We'll touch on a few additional considerations that you should make regarding your website's mobile functionality, tracking and analytics, and marketing. We'll discuss how to choose the right platform or provider, and we'll answer your questions. I'm your host. I'm co-founder at CardSetter, and we've helped hundreds of website owners take their visions online with our easy-to-use website platform and service. Prior to CardSetter, I actually owned my own online business. It was called Billings365.com. It was a website for events and things to do in the big city of Billings, Montana. In that business, I actually had hired someone to build my website for me, my first website. And so I do understand what it's like to be a small business owner and going through the process of getting a website built. But later I got involved in helping build other small business websites. I was part of a website development agency where we did custom WordPress websites for our clients. So I've really been on all sides of the website side of things. So small business owner who had their site built for them, later got involved in building other small business websites. And now at CardSetter, we're powering websites with our own website platform, our own technology. I also have Randy here with me today to help me with questions. Randy, would you introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hey, everyone. I'm Randy. Thanks for jumping on to geek out about websites with us today. I am a small business owner as well. I'm actually a customer of CardSetter, and I am based in Houston. When I was first launching my business in 2017, I originally tried to build my website by myself. It turns out I don't have an eye for design, and I gave up and I hired an agency to build a WordPress website for me. And then later, as we grew and we're adding a second location, we switched over to a CardSetter website. So we just like to share what we've learned along our own website journeys with you. I am here to help with the Q&A. And so if you have questions as we go, please drop them in the Q&A. We'll stop every 5 to 6 slides and take a few questions, and then we'll leave time for more at the end. We also have a website planning workbook that you can download from our website. So I'm going to drop a link to that in the chat box, and you can just click on the link and be able to download that website planner from our website as well.
Okay, so I know I need a website. Where should I build it? Or who should I hire to build it? This is where people kind of start their website journey. I know I need a website, but then it's really easy to go down the rabbit hole of all sorts of questions, thoughts, details. Where should I build it? Where should I host it? I need to get a domain. Maybe I heard Wix is bad for SEO from somebody. Someone in a Facebook group said I have to build it myself on WordPress, or I'm a total failure. My friend's nephew is sort of a techie. She says maybe he can build it for me. Maybe I can find a template and start there. So on and on this line of thinking goes. There's a lot to consider. However, you can't make any of these decisions until you have a good plan in place. So why is planning so important? Well, when you plan ahead, you're going to have a framework for making better decisions that are specific to you, your business, and your customer. So whether you decide to build your website yourself or you decide to work with someone to build it for you, planning is going to help you gain clarity on what you and your customers need from your website. So you'll design your website around the needs of your business and your customers instead of trying to fit your business into a specific template or platform. It'll help you prioritize what is most important. It'll help you make better choices for your specific needs. It'll help you save time and money, and it will streamline the process so you can actually launch your website faster. Now, before we get into our planning steps, I do want to talk about what we call a minimum viable launch point. In working with hundreds of business owners on their websites, I've seen projects completely stall out because the business owner will be stuck on one specific page or section of content for their website. So for example, we were working with a customer who wanted an entire testimonials page on her website. However, she had not collected any testimonials from her customers yet. And so her website was underway and she got really busy with other things. She just had higher priorities than gathering testimonials at the time. But it was causing her a lot of angst regarding her website. And so we said, you know what, don't worry about the testimonials now. You can always add those later. You can come back to them when you have time to gather them. We can go ahead and launch your website and add those testimonials back in later. Now, would it have been ideal to be able to launch her website with testimonials on it? Of course, but it's not worth delaying the website's launch. So you want to try to avoid these kind of hangups by focusing on your minimum viable launch point. So what is the minimum level of functionality and content that you need to launch your website with? Another area we see people get stalled out on is like they have a plan for a feature, like maybe they want to have a course on their website, but they haven't developed any of the content for the course yet. So in the minimum viable launch approach, you would get a website up, talk about your business, what you offer, things like that. Maybe start blogging to try to get traffic to your website and add that membership or that course to your website later when you have the materials together. You wouldn't delay the launch of your website until you had that course complete. So you want to take on the mindset that your website is iterative. It's going to change and adapt as you have new information available or as your business's needs change. And just a reminder, if you have any questions, you can drop them in the Q&A. We will stop periodically and then do more at the end. Okay, so we're about to get into the first steps for planning your website. We're going to go through the big important pieces. We do have a more detailed website planning workbook, which Randy mentioned and dropped the link in the chat for you to download. Our goal today is to be sure that you have a good grasp of the big important pieces, but the planner is going to help you put what we talk about today into greater detail. So if you fill out the entire planner, you're going to have a comprehensive plan in place that will make creating your website much faster. Okay, so first things first, we want to define the goals for your website. So what is your website's purpose? You might be thinking, well, of course, to get customers, but that's oversimplifying things a bit. So in reality, we want to engage our target audience, educate them about our products and services, and drive some percentage of them to convert. Of course, we'd love everyone who visits our website to convert to customers, but in reality, a percentage of them are going to come to your website and end up becoming a customer of yours. But you want to get more specific on those goals for your business. So, I'll engage my target audience on my website. Maybe that's by providing relevant content that's specific to your audience and your industry. I'll educate potential customers about my business that might be including testimonials and case studies, having a robust FAQ section, including a product video. My customers will convert by booking an appointment, calling, making a purchase. So if I ran a landscaping company, this could potentially look like I'll engage my target audience on my website by publishing blog posts about plants that thrive in my area's climate. I'll educate potential customers about my business by developing before and after photo galleries with corresponding client testimonials. My customers will convert by requesting an estimate through an online form. So we want to define the goals and then plan the website strategy around achieving them. And that brings us to feature and functionality needs. So what does your website need to do to help achieve the goals that you've identified in the previous step? So for example, if you were gonna, write blog posts and create content to engage your audience, then you're gonna need a blog feature. Do you wanna capture email addresses with a lead capture or for your e-newsletter, then you're going to need to integrate an e-newsletter software with your website? Does your website visitor need to be able to book an appointment with you to convert? Are you selling products? Do you want to offer a membership area or a course? So we're starting to think about what the website needs to do and which features will enable those things. Now, some of your features might come in the form of integrations. So, for example, we talked about having an e-newsletter or lead capture on your website, and that would probably happen through an integration with whatever e-newsletter provider you choose. So if you're going to send marketing emails through MailChimp, for example, you would integrate the sign-up form from your MailChimp account with your website. Are you already using certain technology that needs to integrate with your website? For example, a lot of brick and mortar businesses, people with locations, coffee shops, restaurants, salons will use Square for their point of sale and their payment processor. If that were the case, you might want your website to use the same payment processor. So you want to start thinking about these things and making notes about them. What features does my website need? Am I using any technology already, or do I plan to use certain technology that might be able to integrate with my website? Okay, so we've defined our website's goals and we're starting to get a good picture of what our website needs to do. Randy, before I move on to content, did we have any questions about the previous steps?
Oh.
One came through right as I was about to say no. Can you please clarify what lead capture means?
Yeah, so lead capture is typically a strategy for creating a database of potential customers, of leads. So when I say lead capture, that's usually done through like providing a free resource that your audience would want on your website, and they enter their email to get the free resource. So you've probably been on that on many websites where they're like, download our free guide to whatever, and it'll be a PDF. You enter your email to get the PDF. E-commerce websites will often do this with a coupon. So, when you hit a shopping website and they're like, right away, they're like, enter your email to get 10% off. Well, they know you might not buy something on your first visit. So if they get your email, then they can continue marketing to you to bring you back to make that purchase later. So that's the strategy of a lead capture.
Can you also talk about members/gated content and what that means?
Yeah, so memberships and gated content, that would be like if you there's business models around like having a subscription or having a program for your members. So for example, we have a customer who is a health coach, and so she provides a member area to people who pay on a monthly subscription for her virtual health coaching. So she has like recipes and workouts and things like that are behind a login. So only her paying members can get that content. So that would be a membership that includes gated content. Some people also will charge a membership for access to like their Facebook group. And so that would be a membership with gated content that happens off your website. So people probably sign up and pay for the membership on the website, but then the actual benefit or access to content happens on Facebook.
And is a lead capture handled by some sort of CRM tool?
It can be. It just kind of depends on what software you're planning on using. So some CRM systems may also have email marketing capability. For example, like ActiveCampaign is one that has a CRM plus email built in. So you would have the form for the lead capture come from ActiveCampaign, put that on your website. People would fill out their email, they would get the free resource, and then they would be in your CRM system in ActiveCampaign. And it's just kind of a difference of how things are labeled sometimes, like MailChimp does keep track of your subscribers as well in your subscriber list. And it might have fewer like CRM type of functionality than something like ActiveCampaign.
And then last one, can you share again what feature needs match best to engage and educate and convert customers?
Yeah, so that's going to come back to your business. So, what is your business model? What are the goals of your website to help facilitate that business model? So how you're going to engage, educate, and convert customers is going to be highly dependent on your business. So, a services-based company is probably going to pull people in with content that's related to their industry, get people reading blog posts, show themselves as an authority on the topic. And then as far as educating, once you get them to your website, then you want to pull them into pages that describe what your services do, what you offer, things like that. And then to get them to convert, maybe you're going to have them book a free consultation with a scheduling link, like to your Calendly account or something like that. So the Calendly would be the added feature. A blog would be a feature that they would be utilizing, but that's going to be different for every business. Okay, so next we'll start thinking about website content. So this is a really big and important piece of the puzzle. Any website professional will tell you that this is where projects often stall out. So if you haven't thought through your content before beginning the website, the entire process is going to move much, much slower. So before you choose a platform, before you select a provider, before you worry about what your website's going to look like, you have to plan your content. Now, when we're talking about content, I'm talking about what pages you're going to include on your website, how that's going to be organized, what's going to be on each page. So what text and headlines and lists and things like that. What do you need to communicate on each page? And you might even have notes about any graphics or videos or things like that that you need on those pages. However, the first thing that we need to do is define the ideal customer, write a key benefit statement, and decide what our website's call to action is. Okay, so first of all, you want to describe your ideal customer. So here we are thinking about who the website is for and what are their needs. So I like to start this process by using this simple fill in the blank statement. So it says, as a type of person, I want some goal so that some reason. So you would fill that out from the perspective of your ideal customer. So health coach, here's how a health coach might fill out that statement. As a busy working parent, I find it challenging to find time for fitness, but I want to feel fit and healthy so that I have more energy to play with my kids after work. For my business, Card Setter, I would fill this out like, as a new entrepreneur, I want to take my vision online so that I can share my products, expertise, and talents to grow my venture. But I don't know how to design and build an effective website on my own. So here I'm trying to get in the mind of the person who is most likely to utilize Card Setter's, like what we offer. Who are we going to be the best fit for? For a financial planner, it might be something like, as a busy 30-something, I want to invest in my future so that I can retire someday with a home on the lake, but I don't have a lot of time and I don't know where to start. Okay, so from there, we can come up with our key benefit statement. So why is your business the best choice for your ideal customer? So our health coach's key benefit statement might be something like, feel better and have more energy for the things that matter. You don't have to redesign your life around endless workouts that you hate. I'll help you establish simple habits to improve your health and fitness without a huge time commitment. Card setters would be, take your vision online and share it with the world. Launching your website doesn't have to be complicated. Answer a few questions. Card setter takes care of the rest. Our financial planner might say something like, Lee Humphrey takes the overwhelm out of financial planning. He'll help you take simple steps to achieve your big dreams, beginning with just 30 minutes of your time to get started. So you can see how we took those statements that we crafted for our ideal customer and then tried to address the concerns we listed in that statement with our key benefit statement. So when we're talking about the ideal customer and how we're thinking about them, that's really a tool for you to reference to think about, who you're trying to communicate with to help guide images you're going to choose, headlines you're going to use, information you're going to convey on your website. And your key benefit statement is marketing copy that you likely would use on your website and elsewhere to market your business. Okay, so now we know who our website is talking to, and we know how to communicate the value of our business to them. So now we want to define what we want them to do when they visit our website. That's going to be your primary call to action. And what that is going to depend on your business and the goals that you've set in the previous steps. So you might want them to buy a product from your online store. Maybe you want them to book an appointment, contact you for more information, request a quote, sign up for your online course. So you want your website to help your ideal customer take that desired action. So next, we're going to talk about planning the homepage around these elements. And I'm going to provide the general framework that we start with. It's applicable to many types of businesses, but remember that these are not hard rules. So your strategy is going to be specific to your business, but hopefully this framework will help get you thinking in the right direction. So the reason that I wanted to go through ideal customer, key benefit statement, and call to action is because these are really important for your homepage. So we're going to focus on the hero section, or the section that you see on the website before you start scrolling. Here we're trying to capture attention and quickly communicate what our business does, who it's for, and how they can actually take action to become our client or customer. So I like to lead this section with a headline that relates to the key benefit statement, a bit of support text to back up that key benefit, and then the call to action. So I would have that information right at the top in most cases. And then I also have some testimonials here. Those might appear close to your hero or elsewhere on your homepage if you have them available. But I like to use them because I feel like they back up your key benefit statement from your existing customer's point of view. So it helps to have some copy from your customers on your website. It's not just your own marketing copy. It's, describing the value that your customers receive from your product or service through their own words, which can be helpful to prospects who are visiting your website. So they help you make the case for why your business is the best choice for the person who's reading your site. But what if you're an e-commerce company? So in that case, product sales are your website's primary goal. So you might organize your homepage a little bit differently. In that case, you'd maybe lead the top section of your website with products. As an e-commerce company, you probably have an ideal customer in mind, the type of person who's going to want to purchase the products that you're curating on your website. So in some cases, you can, draw your ideal customer in just by having products that you know are going to resonate with them right at the top. So those could be, new arrivals, maybe your most popular products, something that you know is really going to capture the attention of your ideal customer. So I still have in this example, the key benefit statement listed right under that product section and a call to action to shop now. And then I do also include testimonials in the example. I feel like testimonials are still really important on an e-commerce website, just to show that you're a business that people can trust buying from and purchasing products from you. Okay, so one more example would be if you're a content-focused business. So maybe you are publishing a blog, a newsletter, a podcast, or all of the above as your primary business. So, podcast content creators, they're generally creating content and building their business around that, possibly monetizing through advertising or sponsorships or membership programs, subscriptions, things like that. In that case, I'd probably lead with content on the website, because my goal here is to engage the audience with content first. They don't know if they want to subscribe to my newsletter or podcast until they know they like the content. So I would include the call to action right there on my homepage, but I'd also have that type of button on like the article pages. So if people land like from a link on social media, they click into my website on the article, I'd also have my subscribe buttons and things like that on those pages. Okay, so next we're going to look at a few real world examples. The sites that I've opted to show you aren't perfect because there is no such thing, but I think that these sites have a lot of good things going for them in terms of what we have discussed so far. Okay, so Brit Smart Security says, keeping your family secure and connected. And then they say home security and smart home installation in Columbus and Medina, Ohio. So Brit's specifically speaking to families in the Columbus and Medina, Ohio area. They're communicating the motivation for securing your home, which is keeping your family safe. They're doing this not only with the words that they're using on the page, but with the photo that they've chosen for their hero section. Now, Brit is not excluding single people who want to secure their homes, but they are speaking to their ideal customer, or those who are most likely to be motivated to hire them. Midway Bravery says, a book for anyone who appreciates the greatest generation's wartime sacrifice. Now, that statement might not resonate with everybody, but it does for World War II history buffs. And then they have purchased the book right up there as their call to action, so people can easily get in and purchase the book from the website. Spiked Olive is a brick and mortar olive oil boutique. So they have a physical location in Billings, Montana, but they also sell their products online. So they really aim to balance both audiences on their website. So this is a case where the site would kind of break my general framework. Normally, I'd try to encourage you to have one call to action, one primary call to action, and really try to move people towards that action. But in this case, they really do want to appeal to both people who are going to come into their physical location and people who are going to shop online. So they actually have two calls to action right there towards the top of their website. But then as far as their copy, they say, enjoy artisanal oils on tap. And then they have some support copy here that says, foodies know the importance of keeping a variety of oils in their cupboards. So I really like this because I feel like it kind of appeals to the audience's desire to be in the foodie club. And you might have a thought after you read that, like, do I have enough oils in my cupboard? What flavors might I be missing out on? Okay, and then sprouting weeds. This example I chose because they've put into practice the minimum viable launch strategy like we discussed earlier. So sprouting weeds is creating a clothing rental service for baby clothes. And then they've got a good key benefit statement. It says because they grow up so fast. Now they chose not to put that in the hero section, which I would probably advise them to switch because I think it's more compelling, but they do have it close to the top there. And parents understand exactly what that means without any explanation, right? If you've had children, you understand the struggle of them growing out of their clothes just about as quickly as you're buying them, especially when they're babies. So then she has some support text that says, your child is growing like a weed and sprouting out of the clothes they were in just last week. Why spend hundreds of dollars on clothes that they get to wear maybe twice when you can rent everything you need? So this site doesn't have their entire fulfillment process worked out yet, but they are promoting what's coming so they can get their email list ready for when they do launch. So they have just a simple email sign-up form on the website. And then I do want to point out this simple how it works section. So this strategy is often overlooked by so many websites, but having how it works for your product or service can really help the website visitor understand exactly how your product or service works. It kind of removes some ambiguity and helps them take that first action. So if you tell them, what's going to happen next, here's how to get started. This is what's going to happen once you do that, kind of helps them understand what's happening and just kind of removes a little bit of reservation for them so they can move forward. Age of Montessori is a Montessori certification program. And what I like about their website is their use of testimonials. So they do a really good job of supporting why to choose Age of Montessori over their competitors by using testimonials from their current and past students. And then even though we are mostly talking about home pages, I wanted to show you how they carry those strategies into their interior pages. So this is a page for one of Age of Montessori's courses. And again, they're supporting the content with the use of testimonials. So when someone hits this page for the course and they're trying to decide if it's right for them, Age of Montessori is saying, this person who is like you loved this course and got tremendous value from it. And here again, they're providing a how it works section that is specific to the course, along with FAQs to help assure their prospects and help them decide to take that action to enroll with the course. And then one last example, I wanted to show you an example of a content-focused business. This is my previous business. New people are operating it now, but it is a good example of a content-driven website. So Billings 365 makes money off of advertising. So their website's primary goal is to get people to visit the website, read content, and spend some time there. That ensures that people will see ads and their sponsor logos, which will make their advertisers happy, and then they'll keep advertising with Billings 365. So in this case, the website's really designed around the content. And Billings 365's traffic is actually over 70% mobile. So they really designed their website around that mobile user experience, try to encourage people to scroll through more and more content and coincidentally see more and more ads. Okay, so we've covered lots of examples. And the reason that I wanted to spend so much time on this piece is because when you think about your website's goals, your ideal customer, key benefit statement, and what you want the website visitor to do, it will not only help you develop your homepage, but it will help you strategize the content for the rest of your website. And again, our website planner, which you can download, will help you think through the other pages for your site. Randy, before we move into the next section, do we have any questions?
We do have one. What is a CRM?
So a CRM is a customer relationship management software. So it's basically a place to store all of your contacts. So any prospective customers, so if you have a database of people you plan to reach out to through cold emailing or anything like that, you would have them in your CRM. Your CRM might also house your existing customers or clients. So a lot of times they'll have just a way to manage all those contacts, tag them based on industry, or if they're a customer versus a prospect, things like that. A lot of times they'll have task management and things like that associated with them. So it's just a way to manage your business and your contacts within it.
Perfect. I'm going to drop the link to the planner in the chat box again, just in case anybody's logged on since we posted it last, it wouldn't show up for you. So we'll make sure we post it so you guys get that link.
Okay, so content marketing. We get asked the question, how often should I update my website, or what type of content do I need to have? So at CardSetter, we are big proponents of having a content marketing strategy for your website. And when we're talking about content marketing, what we mean is producing content to go on your website that's geared towards attracting your ideal customer to your website. So that might include blog posts, or if you prefer making videos, it might be a video library of sorts, things like that. So producing content for your website to attract your ideal audience. So content marketing helps with your website's SEO, so search engine optimization. If you have lots of good content that includes keywords that your ideal customer would be searching for related to your business, that's going to help you come up in search on Google or other search engines. It gives people a reason to visit and return to your website. It gives you content to post to your social media, and it just has long-term lasting benefits. But we know that this can be a daunting task. Blogging every single week can be hard to fit in with everything else that you have going on. So what I like to do is recommend starting with a collection of maybe 3 to 5 articles geared towards one topic that is of interest to your ideal customer. So you want to create collections around topics in your industry, and then you can start to create a collection of resources into a useful guide for your audience. So earlier, we talked about the example of a landscaping company, and they said, I'm going to engage my target audience by producing articles about plants that thrive in my area's climate. So you can imagine that you could take, the top 10 plants for that area's climate and create a guide around them. So you could write an article on each plant and then assemble those articles onto a landing page that would then become the ultimate guide to plants that thrive in Philadelphia, for example. So you can imagine that the landscaping company's ideal customer might be doing some online research about what kind of plants are going to be best for their yard, so for their climate. So that would be a way that the landscaping company could create content and assemble that content onto a landing page to be a valuable resource to potential customers. In the example that we have up on the screen here, our website owner is providing a comprehensive adventure photography guide made up of 4 key articles. So now think about all the ways that that content could be used by the website owner. So they could promote this landing page that has all of the articles on it as the comprehensive guide and start driving traffic to that page. They could take each individual article and do the same thing. So they could, post the articles out on their social media. They could run paid ads to the articles. They could include the articles in their e-newsletter, things like that. Of course, those articles also serve a purpose, just being on the website in hopes of, being found in the search engines. They could also drill down even deeper and grab tips or excerpts from each individual article and use that to create social media content, things like that. So, you might take a few tips out of one of your articles and make an Instagram story from that, for example. So I like to think of the website as the content home base. So I'm going to start with content that's going to be on my website, and then I'm going to branch out from there and distribute that content in different formats and different channels that I use to market my business. If it's a common practice for small business owners to focus on social media content, but not produce content for their website. And this is a huge mistake because you're really missing out on the SEO benefits of having that content on your website and of having a way to bring your ideal customers to your website and have them engage with your business outside of social media. This is an example of how we put that practice into use on our own website for CardSetter. So as I mentioned, I used to run Billings 365, which was a content focused business. So took some of the knowledge I gained through that business to write a collection of articles. And then we assembled all those articles on their own landing page to be the essential guide to grow your business as an online content creator. So all those articles are on one landing page. And then taking it a step further, at the end of each of those articles, I'm displaying other articles from that series. So when someone gets through reading one article, I'm instantly providing the others that are in the series so they can move on to the next one and hopefully, spend more time on our website, get more value out of the content. And the more value we provide, the more time they spend with us, the deeper their engagement with our brand becomes and the closer they become to taking an action to being a customer. And now one last example of this would be for a wedding planner. So a wedding planner would love to reach couples at the early planning phase. So that planner could create a collection of articles geared towards the newly engaged. They have a checklist here, questions for vendors, tips on what to tackle on your own versus what to leave to a professional. So this makes the wedding planner a valuable resource for her prospective clients. If they land on one of her articles and continue reading others, she increases her chances of being top of mind when they are ready to hire a planner. Okay, we've gone through the big important essentials on website planning. Again, I'd encourage you to download the planner. I have a few other elements that we'll address as far as planning your website. Randy, do you have any questions we should address before we move on to the next section?
I think let's finish up the whole presentation, then we'll take the rest at the end.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so over 55% of worldwide website traffic occurs on mobile devices, and it can be higher for many websites. As I mentioned, Billings 365 has over 70% mobile website traffic. However, one mistake that we see website visitors make is that they're constantly evaluating their website from a computer, from their desktop. This makes sense, right? You're working and you're at your computer, and that's how you're looking at your website. But if most of your website visitors are visiting from their phone, you might be focusing on all the wrong things. So mobile user experience has to be a priority these days. And if you have so much more traffic on mobile than on computers, you might actually want to think about designing and building your website from the mobile perspective so that you're prioritizing information on that screen size and you're optimizing for the mobile visitor if you have more mobile visitors than desktop. So a few things that I like to focus on for mobile are keeping menus and navigation simple, focusing on scrolling over clicking. We're so accustomed to scrolling through social media that's become the intuitive mobile user behavior. So it might be best to have people scroll to more information rather than relying on lots of clicks to get to key info. keeping the design simple, making important information easy to find, not hiding too much deep down in the menu, encouraging more content discovery. So like I mentioned, having more content at the end of your articles and things like that to keep them on the site longer. Choosing a platform that makes it easy to edit and preview your site in the mobile view. So just being able to work on your website in the mobile view in whatever platform that you choose can be helpful. Analytics. So if you're putting all of this effort into your website, then you'll want to be sure you're tracking your website's activity. You can do this with Google Analytics, which is free. With analytics installed, you can see how many people are visiting your website, how long they're staying there, which pages they visit most often, where they're coming from. So if they're coming from Google searches or your social media posts, things like that. So Google Analytics is where you can really see how your website is performing and how your marketing activities around your website are performing. And there's not a lot of time to go into this piece too much, but I just want to be sure that you add Google Analytics to your website from day one of launch, so you have that data. I'll share a few notes on marketing. So I launched this great website, but I'm not getting any customers. So it's really easy for website owners to feel that way, right? However, your website is not a build it and they will come asset. So you don't just put up your website and get customers. Just doesn't work that way. It takes additional work on and off your website to start acquiring customers. So you should think of your website as one element, a tool within your marketing mix. You'll need to help drive traffic to your website through content, social media, online or traditional ads, and more. So we often see website owners want to make sweeping changes to their website based solely off their instincts. Like they're feeling like, oh, I'm not getting customers. There must be something wrong with my website. But in reality, the website might not have enough traffic for the site to convert, or it's possible there hasn't been enough marketing activity to move the prospect or the website visitor from the awareness stage into consideration of your products or services and then to conversion. There is this old rule in marketing that says that it takes up to 7 touch points with the brand before someone's ready to take action with that brand. And today there's so much that vies for our attention. So I'm sure that that number is much, much higher. So you want to keep taking small marketing actions to get your brand in front of your audience multiple times. Remember that most people are going to need repetition and frequency. So they're going to need to see your brand several times before they're going to feel comfortable taking action. And you want to look at your analytics before making big sweeping changes to your website. So rather than deciding that something's wrong with it or you need a whole redesign of your homepage, you might realize that you don't have a lot of repeat visitors and you should really do something to bring people back to the website. Maybe, sending blog posts out in your email list, running retargeting ads on Instagram or something like that. Okay, so last step, we're going to talk about platforms and providers. You have a solid plan in place now and you know what your website needs to do. So now you can go back to the different website options out there and consider which one is going to suit your specific needs. So these are a few questions to consider, and there's no correct answer to any of these. These are questions you need to ask as you're evaluating the different options, and you need to decide that you're comfortable with however the website platform or service provider handles these things. So will it grow and adapt with my business? As we mentioned, your business is going to grow and change, and your website's going to need to grow and change with it. Does it feel like that the option you're considering has that flexibility for future growth in a easy and affordable way? Do I want to spend my time or my money, and what is the value? So when you're looking at options like do-it-yourself builders that require more of your time, think about how that fits into your business, if that is the best use of your time, because your time does have an expense where you spend your time matters in your business. So, you just got to think about how that works within your business and if that's the best use of your time. Do the platform's features match your requirements? Now you know what features you need. You can go through the different platforms or providers that you're considering and make sure that they can accommodate those feature requirements. Are hosting and SSL and others essentials included? So your website is a compilation of digital files. It has to be stored somewhere so that it can be accessed on the web. That is your hosting. Most subscription-based products include hosting. If you choose to have someone build your website on a content management system like WordPress or Joomla or Drupal, those need hosting to be set up. And it's possible that the person that builds your site on one of those would set up your hosting, or they might require that you are responsible for setting up your own hosting. Or if you choose to build your own website on one of those platforms, you would have to set up hosting for that. An SSL is a security certificate on your domain. And it, helps protect your website visitors' information if they're going to be entering personal information on your site. Google basically requires an SSL. Many subscription-based products, like at CardSetter, we include the SSL with the subscription. If it's not included in the option you're looking for, you would need to register that SSL wherever you've registered your domain. Do you have access to make edits on your own? Of course, if you choose to do it yourself, you're going to be able to get in, make edits on your own. If you have someone build your website for you, this can vary. Sometimes they'll lock you out of certain sections of the site, so you can't, make design changes or add new plugins on your own, things like that. And that just varies on across providers. So some will give you full access, some give you partial access. It's just something you need to know. What is the cost of future change requests? So if you choose a do-it-yourself option, how easy is it going to be for you to go add new sections, update the design, add new integrations in the future if you need to? What does that cost as far as your time is concerned? If you choose to have someone work on your website for you, how do they bid those changes? What is the hourly rate? How does all that work? How is support handled and is there a cost? Different subscription platforms are going to have different support levels in their different pricing tiers. So, just make sure you're comfortable with whatever that is. If you're choosing to have someone build your website for you, what kind of support is included once the website is up? Or do you pay for that support by the hour? If your site is hacked, who's responsible for unhacking it? Things like that. Make sure you understand. And then what happens if I want to switch? So someday you may want to switch platforms. There might be a new platform with a feature that would really benefit your business and you want to make a move, or you're just not happy with where you're at. You might want to switch. So the important thing here is to understand, whenever you're switching platforms, you're always going to have to go through reformatting, redesign. Like you can't take a WordPress website and put it in its entirety on Squarespace, for example. But the important thing is that your website content can come with you and import into the new system that you're choosing. So like if you've invested a bunch of time in writing blog posts on your website and you have hundreds of blog posts and you decide you want to switch platforms, you don't want to have to manually enter all those blog posts again. So you want to make sure that that content can come with you and be exported and imported into another system. And all platforms have different policies around this. At CardSetter, for example, we provide an export that can be imported into another compatible system. But some subscription products don't let you take any of your content with you. Some limit the type of content you can take with you. So you really need to look into that before signing up for something and make sure that you're comfortable with how that's handled. So your options for getting a new website have traditionally fallen into two categories. You can build it yourself using a platform like Squarespace, Shopify, or Wix. There's lots of other options out there in this column as well. These platforms are often desirable because they're affordable and they're marketed as easy to use. The main drawback here is that while they have a low monetary costs, they do come in the cost of your time. So you're responsible for developing all the content, organizing it, implementing any necessary integrations, taking care of, all of the technical aspects, making sure it looks good. And in many cases, as we've discussed before, your time is better spent in other areas of your business. And then depending on your technical skill level, you may end up with a website that doesn't work or look quite right. It just kind of depends on how comfortable you are with the system that you're working with. On the other side of the spectrum, you can hire an agency or freelancer to build your website for you. This still is really popular, often happens on WordPress because agencies and freelancers still like that platform. And depending on, your preference, you may or may not find WordPress to be the most efficient content management system to work in on your own if you want to be able to get in there and make edits and things like that. However, the benefit of this option is that someone is going to take care of all the technical aspects for you. They're going to do the design work for you. They're probably going to help you organize and think about your content. Some agencies will even write your content for you. The downside is that you have a higher monetary cost, especially upfront, and then you will run into other expenses as you want to make changes to your website later. You're probably going to end up having hourly fees and things like that accrue for future changes. My company falls into a new category, which is a hybrid. So CardSetter has an easy to use platform like the do-it-yourself option. So our customers can get in and edit their website and add content and things like that whenever they want. But we handle all of the initial design and setup. So we help organize content. We do the design, all of that to help our customers get started off on the right foot. And then we actually include a number of change requests in our subscriptions so they can get professional help when they need it. So they don't have to, struggle through Googling for answers on how to do something. They can just send those types of things to our team and we take care of it for them to save them time. So we really aim to bridge the gap between the do-it-yourself and done-for-you options. And with that, we will open it up to additional questions.
All right. So we got 10 minutes. We've got quite a few questions here, so we'll get through as many as we can. Where would we be able to access the landing page articles?
So if you were going to have a website and you were going to have a landing page with articles, you would want to put that landing page in your navigation somehow. And if you're talking about on ours, as an example, at cardsetter.com, there's a section called resources, and you can see the content creator resources example on our website. So you'd want to do something similar. So if you had a resources section on your website, then maybe you have outlined all of your resource sections there. So click through to our landing page about whatever the topic is.
Jessica, I have a question for you. When several people have asked this, if I were to come to you and say, I'm going to start a business selling jewelry and I need to put a website together and all that, how much does it cost me to do that, the basic product from your firm?
Ours is a monthly subscription-based product. Ours starts at $49 a month. And then we have a higher tier that offers more change requests each month for $129 a month. So that's where our pricing sits.
Would you design it and all that for that amount of money, or that's in addition to?
No, we design it and everything for that subscription. So we just have the subscription cost and no upfront fee.
And is there a time limit on the subscription? Like, do I have to subscribe for a year, or it's just for as much as I want?
So if you cancel your subscription, then we export your content and you would need to put it on something else. You know what I mean? Like We're similar to the subscription models of the other software because we do have our own software that we build the website on. So part of
Oh.
that subscription is the software. And then we have some support and things like
great.
that built in.
That answers the question. Thank you. Randy?
Yeah, Diane asked, how do you know where most of your traffic comes from, where it's mobile versus desktop?
You can find that in your Google Analytics. So they have a report that'll break down tablet, desktop, and mobile. And you can actually go as far as seeing the operating system. So you can see if people are on mobile and Safari or desktop and Chrome, things like that.
Is that $49 a month forever or just for 1 year? Does it go up? Do you adjust it? That was a question, and I was interested myself.
Forever.
Okay.
Yep, $49 per month, and then it's a month-to-month basis if someone wants to cancel, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Randy, you have another one in front of you?
All right. How can you do domain name searches or secure a domain name?
Yeah, so I like to recommend Google domains if you're not already signed up with another registrar. And the reason for that is because often people end up wanting email to go with their professional domain. And if you start by registering at Google, it makes setting up your email at Google much easier. So that's generally my recommendation. So you can go to domains.google.com and search for available domain names as they relate to your business and then purchase the one that you want to register. GoDaddy is a perfectly acceptable place to register domains as well. But for that email purpose, most people want to get into Google Workspace is their email. So it's just easier if your domain is registered there in the first place.
There's a question here from Linny. Are you, Jessica, on Facebook and or Instagram? And do you advise how to utilize their media in marketing a platformed website?
Most of my social media activity is on Twitter. My Twitter handle is there personally. And then we do have pages for Cardsetter on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, that's fair enough. Does your cost include domain or is that extra?
We actually advise our customers to register their domain in their own domain account. And there's a few reasons for that. If you ever want to switch platforms, it's much more straightforward if your domain is not tied up in your Cardsetter account or any other account like that for that matter. And it also ensures that you are the official owner of that domain. So oftentimes we'll see customers come from another website provider. They had hired someone to build a WordPress website for them, and that same provider registered their domain for them. The relationship went south. They're not on good terms anymore, and the website owner can't get access to their domain. And that happens so often. So just as a protection measure, you want to treat your domain as an important business asset. So it's just more secure if you register it in your own domain account.
Randy, you want to take this last one here? You said
Yeah, so you said you are a bridge between the DIY and the done for you. If I have a website with a platform, will you take it away? I have a website with a platform, you will take it away from it and move to yours. Then I pay the monthly fee to you under your support, correct?
Yep. So if you want to use Cardsetter and you already have a website, we rebuild your website and make any improvements, modifications that you want to it on our own technology, and then provide support.
Oh, that's fair. Somebody asked, the $49, we understand. What do you get more for the $129?
Yeah, so the main difference between the two is the number of change requests. So the $49 a month will do one round of change requests each month. The $129 you get up to 3. And so the people who choose the $129 simply want more hands-on help. They want to do less on their own website, and they anticipate that their website will need ongoing changes and updates that they simply don't want to handle. So they're willing to pay for added.
All right. We have time for one more question based on your time constraints. If they go to CardSetter and then decide later it's not for them for some reason, you said you give us a downloadable file that can be imported into WordPress. Is that so?
Yeah, you can import it into WordPress or other compatible systems. So you would get all of your content. So all the words on the pages, the tags that tell it to be an H1 for a heading, for example, or paragraph text or whatever it is, all your blog content, the images associated with those pages, all of that would be provided to you. You can import it into something like WordPress, but you would need to, configure the WordPress site to look good and all of that. So you would have some configuration to do in any platform. And that's the same for switching between any platforms. You're always going to have to utilize the design system of the new platform you're switching to.
Well, that makes sense. Well, we're right at the time that you need to go for the next presentation. So first of all, we want to thank both Jessica and Randy for your help and your attention and the fact that you put on one heck of a webinar. People are very appreciative of that. And just so you know, you held the audience to the end. And with that, we'll say thank you so much. I'm going to turn it back to Linda, our chapter chair, for some closing remarks. Linda?
Okay, thank you once again for a great presentation, chock full of information and usable good stuff, if you will, for people who are trying to do their websites. Once again, the information for Jessica is on the screen, so if you'd like to contact her directly, you may. If you need help from SCORE, we offer free mentoring services, and we're here to help, and we can guide you through the process of starting your business or making your business more profitable. So visit our website as well, buckscounty.score.org. You will all receive a copy of the recording and the slides from today's presentation, and I hope to see you again next Tuesday when we present our next webinar. Thanks again, and have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.